Hi, it's Kyle Goberline, a truck and RV sales consultant at Bluegrass International in Georgetown, Kentucky. It's it's 6:45 in the morning Saturday, so I've got my comfy clothes on. I've got a customer that's coming in to pick up this unit that they bought from us. But we did a dedicated camera install for them, so I wanted to do a quick video just kind of showing what we did and kind of maybe what a few of your options are. So for people that want to do this in the future, in my motorhome, I like being able to have my backup camera up all the time, like almost like a rear view mirror, because there's no mirror to see out the back window. So when you're traveling, it's just nice to be able to see, what traffic's coming up behind you, or when I'm towing a car, that my car's back there. If I've got, I've got a roof rack on my car, so if I've got kayaks on my car or a mountain bike, I can see that stuff whenever I want to and feel confident when I'm going down the highway. So what we did on this system. So this is a 2023 Renegade Verona 36 VSB. Most of the new Renegades all use the Garmin system. So you've got Voyager cameras. So you got a Voyager rear camera, and you've got Voyager side cameras. Those on the newer Renegades, those cameras feed straight to the Garmin head unit. There's no Voyager box in between. So the radio actually manages the triggers and stuff. So there's wires coming off of that radio that when it sees a backup signal, it pulls up the backup camera on this screen. Problem with that, if you're using your navigation on a 4-lane highway and you've got turns and stuff coming up, well, if you turn your turn signal on to switch lanes, your navigation's going away. So a lot of people like to have their navigation up the whole time, or have their and have their backup camera too. One of the things to note too on the camera system on the Garmin is that for the cameras to work on the Garmin system, it has to be attached to the dash. As soon as you remove this from the dash, you lose that camera feed. So I'll backtrack real quick. A really cool feature that Garmin does have is you can buy an additional screen and mounting kit and mount up to a 10-inch screen, up top. We can mount it just like we mounted this Voyager system, and it would just communicate through here. Now, like I said, the camera stuff has to be connected to the main base, or if you want to have cameras up here on a Garmin screen, the tablet style, because all the Garmin stuff, like the mounting kit, is another magnetic mount that you can either mount with like the RAM mount stuff, like we did this Voyager camera. Or you can get a suction cup mount, or however you want to do it. But if you want to have camera feeds up here, we actually have to run a camera hardwire up through around just like we did this. We have to run a camera hardwire up around through the dash and then out to that magnetic base so that you can actually get a camera feed on the other screen. I personally like, when I'm driving and there's important things I want to be able to do, I personally like hard buttons. Everything on the Garmin's are nice. I've got a 10-inch Garmin RV navigation system. In my motorhome, I've got a 10-inch Kenwood floating screen. One of the things I really like about it is it's actually got it supports Apple CarPlay or Android Play, and it's got a hard button that you push for camera. So like if I've got my navigation up and I just want to take a quick glance at what's behind me, I can just hit that camera button and it'll just pop up, but I can hit it again. It goes back to whatever I was doing before, whether it be listen to the my Tidal or Spotify or navigation really easily. So like in this case, the customer really wanted to decide to go with the Voyager dedicated system with their monitor, because ultimately I think they kind of like to have a CarPlay function, because the Garmin's don't have that. And so they may switch this out in the future. They're just going to see how it goes and what they want to do. But by doing this install, so what we did is we take away the camera wires that are going to the Garmin head unit, and we remove all the triggers so that when you're flipping your turn signals, you don't have something going on your Garmin screen. And we route all that up to a dedicated Voyager camera. Well, Voyager monitor. And so like this button right here, you got menu buttons you can flash through. Like if I'm driving down the road, all I got to do is hit the AV button and it will cycle through each of the cameras. So the rear, the side, and the two sides. As soon as I turn the key on, this is a nice thing too, because I don't have a lot of experience personally with the Garmin as a second screen, but I've heard it like you got to like link it when you turn, I mean, I like simplicity and just ready to rock and roll. So apparently I think you have to like sync them up every time you turn your RV on. And everything's a touch screen. Whereas, on the Voyager system, like I'm going to turn the key on for the ignition. Of course, things are beeping, jacks are down. There's the backup camera. I mean, it pops up, it works. You don't have to touch nothing. It's like a rear view mirror. Like I was saying, you can hit the buttons and it'll quickly cycle through your cameras and right back. Now, like say I have it on the backup camera and I'm going down the highway and I turn my turn signal on and the turn signal camera pops up. As soon as I cancel my turn signal, it goes right back to the backup camera. So it's just right there where you can see it easily. Now there's some options here as far as personal preference. We worked with the customer to say, hey, like this is kind of what we think about mounting this and making it flexible. So what we did on our install, got my arm stuck back here. What we did on our install is we mounted a 5-inch ram track, which is actually, I believe it's 7 inches in total length. And then we drilled a hole out. This material up here is like 1/8 inch aluminum. I mean, this is very sturdy. Like this is not flimsy at all. So it's really easy to mount stuff to this and it'll hold up. So we mounted a track, which gives him some options as far as like being able to slide the monitor back and forth. And then this is the ram mount arm, and I believe it's like 6 point something inches from center to ball. So we could drop this straight down. We could slide it back over this way a little bit. We can a lot of options versus just mounting a single ball and a short arm. If you wanted it to be a little bit farther back, I mean, you could just order the shorter arm from Ram. So I mean, you can really do a lot here. And then having the track, I mean, if you wanted to mount an additional, if it was I know some people are big fans of the, well, I've lost the words for it. It's early in the morning, like I said. Front-facing camera. Like the Garmin makes one where, there's several different brands out there. But if you want like a camera that activates when it senses like potential collision or somebody comes in front of you, you could easily put a bottle up here and mount a camera down like this. If you're a vlogger, and you want to video yourself driving down the road, I mean, they make mounts to hang down and put your GoPro right here facing at you so you can talk to people while you're driving down the highway. And so, I mean, this gave this customer a lot more options as far as cell phone mounts or just anything he wants to do versus just mounting a single ball here in the center. But I just wanted to do a quick overview of what we did on this Voyager camera. This is what I would do. I mean, even if I was going to keep the Garmin head unit, like I said, I don't have a lot of personal experience, but I was on the Renegade Facebook page, and I know some of those people pretty well. Met a few at the rally last year, which was awesome. I haven't heard about it being glitchy, because that was my concern. Like, okay, you tie another screen into an electronic device, is that going to cause like extra strain on electronics and glitchiness and freezing up, and you go to flip your camera and it's not working? Doesn't seem like I've seen a lot of that on the internet as far as people saying that it doesn't work well. If there are issues, it's just a matter of updating the device to the latest software. But I personally, I'm a simpler is better kind of guy. You got cameras on this unit, they go straight to a monitor. I mean, this is designed for Voyager cameras. This is what its function is. It's not a radio. It's not a GPS device. I mean, it is strictly designed to be used with camera systems, and it is dedicated to that purpose. And for me, that's all I'd want that to do. I mean, I want that to always be a camera system, because it's important for me to always have my camera up. On the Garmin function, if you if you order, like, this is an 8-inch screen down here. If you do order the 10-inch screen to mount up here, you can actually flip them back and forth. So you could, if you want to put the 10-inch down here in the dash, put the 8-inch up here, you can flip those back and forth. Just keep in mind that whatever your cameras are has to be down here unless you run an auxiliary wire up to the other monitor. And I think that's kind of really what I wanted to explain. I mean, you're always welcome to reach out to me with questions. You know, it doesn't have to be to buy one from us or have us install this. I mean, if you just have questions about the install or just anything that we can help with, feel free to reach out to me. Once again, it's Kyle Coverline with Bluegrass International. I'm our truck and RV sales consultant here. I do try to do the best I can. So it's all about helping people, doing the right thing. And at the end of the day, it usually works out. So I appreciate it. Talk to you guys soon. Please like and subscribe.